think that's too high pitched?
I still haven't really figured out a tone I want to set with the
hellos.
With the hello thing. Like, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Welcome. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to CatavanCast. Van life with a cat. You can stop laughing now whenever you want.
Carry on.
Carry on.
As you were.
This is a conversational podcast based around van life, trying to give you any information you need for living in a van while exploring the countries of Europe, and maybe a little bit further afield when we get to it.
Sneak peek.
At this, a little bit excited about this one. This was quite an achievement for us. This is an adventure. Today we're covering the Netherlands, which it didn't used to be. Is it Holland?
Holland. I was going to say this for those who do not know.
Good.
The Netherlands is commonly known as Holland, but Holland is simply a province within the Netherlands.
Ah, that's right. I remember we looked it up while we were there. Of course, we were there early October, weren't we? About mid-October.
Yes.
Early to mid-October. Yes. At the time of recording, it is the very end of May.
2020.
2020, yes, sorry. And we're in Greece, a very long way away from the Netherlands. The restaurants reopened here today, so we're very full of food. And now we have to think back to a slightly rainier time of this trip.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there was a bit of rain. But in the Netherlands, so we came in from Belgium, and again, there are it's all within the EU and the Schengen zone. There's no checks, no borders, no nothing like that. So start off as we always do with some of the road regulations. Now, as you may expect from the country that is home to Amsterdam, they're quite relaxed with rules and registrations. Yes. I mean, obviously you still get speeding fines and things, but you must be 18 or over to drive.
Okay.
This is according to an RAC, not sponsored by RAC again.
Not yet.
Not yet, maybe. No, this is according to an RAC website, because they just try and summarise all the up-to-date legal information. But according to them, you must be 18 or over to drive in the Netherlands. And as with every other country, driving a foreign vehicle, and I suppose every vehicle, you must have identification, registration documents, and proof of insurance. Yeah. That's a standard. And obviously, if you're in a British vehicle, you should have your reflector stickers on your headlights, so you don't go blinding people. Yeah. An interesting one, like most other European countries, you are required by law to have some configuration of the driving kit.
Yep, the emergency kit.
The emergency driving kit, which is, breathalyzers, warning triangles, high-vis vests, all stuff like that. None of that is required in the Netherlands.
Okay.
However, if you plan on parking your car or stopping your car on the side of the road at night, and it cannot be sufficiently lit either by street lights or by its own lights, then you must have a triangle. Okay. Obviously, if you're parked, I don't know how that works. If you're parking up for a night on a country lane or something, I'm not sure how that really.
I'm not
sure, but hopefully you won't be doing that
anyway.
I mean, because if you're wild camping, then you're not going to put warning triangles down.
No.
But then you'd probably be on some sort of car park or anything.
I don't assume very many people do it just at the side of the road where they're not supposed to be stopped.
No, well, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. So there's nothing legal there unless your car has really bad lights, or no reflectors on it, I suppose. Following the more relaxed theme of the Netherlands, there are no toll roads. You will not have to pay any extra for driving down their roads.
Jolly good.
They have an interesting one in Belgium last week. A lot of their seating laws, like child seats and things, were based on the child's age. In the Netherlands, it's by their size, which makes sense. And their only restriction is that children smaller than 1.35 metres, that's 135 centimetres, for those keeping score, must be placed in an approved child restraint. Now, I don't know if you ever had I remember when I was small, I had this Velcro triangle thing, which goes around the seat belts. Okay. and it stops it, because if you're smaller, the seatbelt will just dig into your neck.
Oh, okay.
And you can get these things where you sort of, I wonder if that's what it means, because obviously 1.35 metres, still, that's not a baby. So they're not about baby seats.
No.
I wonder whether it's something like that. Like if you have
probably
a
you
small
I think
person.
you can get like child seatbelts and things like that.
Yeah, of course I'm
Because
talking
some-
olden days when I had these things.
Of course you are.
Yes.
You say that, but I've never been in a booster seat or a child restraint, so...
Okay. I don't remember ever being in a child seat, and I must have been in one. But yeah, I remember we had these like Velcro triangle things. Maybe they were popper buttons, I don't know, but they sort of sit across. So you got the bit that goes across your waist, clip around there, and across the bit that comes over your chest, and it just pulls it down.
Yeah.
So that it's not digging in your face or
see.
your neck or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've got kids, they need approved, and there's all the EU approved numbers and things. They need all that, and that's whether you're in the front or the back of the car. Fairly standard but slight variance. That's kind of a pointless sentence, really, wasn't it? 50 kilometers an hour in built-up areas, 80 kilometers on the main roads. 100 kilometers per hour is the speed limit on the main highways, but 130 kilometers on motorways. Now, having been to the Netherlands, I don't know the difference between highways and motorways.
So, relating back to the UK, the way I would interpret that is dual carriageways are 100 and... What was it?
100
kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
And motorways are 130.
Okay.
So,
Oh, hang on. Doggo. Dog. Come on. You go. Good girl.
that was exciting.
Well,
Did you see the dog this
The
time?
dog was miles away.
Okay, good.
I think that's the owner's dog.
Oh, that's quite a good dog.
Yeah.
Too bad.
I think he just... Dargo didn't come running in, she was just sat. I don't think her tail was fluffed or anything. But
Okay.
And she came in just as I tugged her. So.
Yeah. She's fine.
Well, that was interesting.
Yes.
Dargo making more friends.
Adventures of travelling with a cat.
Yes. Where were we? Netherlands. Yes.
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 So I think, just for your reference more than the listeners, but perhaps they will understand if they do it. So you know the road that we were, so like the ring road around The Hague? It was like the big ring road that we took to come off to go to the car park. That's the dual carriageway.
Amsterdam.
No.
Oh, Rotterdam. We
That's
we got
the
the
one,
train
Rotterdam.
to... Yeah,
Sorry,
Rotterdam.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's the dual carriageway, whereas
Yeah.
before that, where we had all the traffic,
Yeah.
that was a motorway.
Motorway, yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
You're about right, there you go. I'm sure there's proper ways of knowing as well. They
I'm
probably
sure
have their
there's
own
like different
number
signs,
systems.
colours,
Yeah,
and things
yeah.
like that, like they have in the UK. So
yes, another one. Seemingly, increasingly more countries are introducing this rule. Apparently
makes sense, really.
Yeah, apparently my dad got a message from TomTom the other day telling about this. Included this rule in Germany. Dedicated speed camera detection gadgets are forbidden and illegal in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
If you have a sat nav, well, according to my father, who I don't really know how good he is with technology. It seems that on TomTom you have to turn off your speed camera detection settings when you're in the Netherlands or any of these countries. So anything like on Google Maps, I think other people can say, like with Waze, people can say, "Oh, there's a speed camera here,"
Yeah.
but it's not detecting them. It's not a radar detection unit,
Yeah.
so that's fine. But if you have a radar detection technology, that is forbidden and illegal in the Netherlands and increasing amounts of countries as well. This kind of goes counter to the more relaxed attitude. I won't go into details because, frankly, I don't think people should be trying to gauge their alcohol level when they're driving. Just don't drink if you're driving. But the drink driver limit is lower in the Netherlands than it is in the UK. And it's even lower again for anyone who's been driving for less than 5 years.
I see.
Or anyone... It's even lower for people who've driven less than 5 years, or anyone up to the age of 24 on a moped. So if you're
Okay.
25 on a moped, there's the higher limit, but still lower than what's in the UK.
Yeah.
But don't drink and drive. Don't be that person. And also, you are not allowed to use your horn in built-up areas unless in a, quote, case of extreme danger.
I see.
Now, it's flat in the Netherlands, famously so. You'll see danger coming. Hopefully you'll be able to stop before you need to use your horn.
There are, in fact, signs in quite a lot of the places that we went, especially in the countryside, where there are no horn signs.
Oh, it's the horn with the
I
cross.
remember,
through it.
yeah.
That might be the first country we really saw that.
Yeah. Yeah. Near
The
Gouda.
Gouda.
Yes, Gouda.
Oh, Gouda, I remember that. God, that was weird. That was
Stop.
weird. Yeah. The only other thing of note, everything else is standard. You know, people from the right have right of way. If you're on a main road, you have right of way. People joining it, unless signed otherwise. Standard European rules. The big difference in the Netherlands is that there are more trams.
Yes.
You are more likely to encounter a tram in the Netherlands. They always have right of way. You can overtake them because they go in the roads. But there are certain instances when you should not do so. Basically, only when it's safe to do so, like everybody else. But otherwise, they have right of way. And buses have right of way over everybody when they're pulling out of a bus stop.
Okay.
So on junctions, no, they don't you don't have to give way to them. But if they are indicating to come out of a bus stop, you must stop and let them out. That is a rule. And that's it. That's the admin section taken care of.
Cool, cool.
Now the anecdotal stuff. So Netherlands, it's painful to me because for reasons we'll get into in a later episode, we lost a whole lot of footage.
Oh, yes.
That we've been recording, and including the Netherlands. We did the Netherlands.
I was going to say, I don't think there's a video.
There was a bit. It
No,
was
no, online.
No, there's
on
not.
YouTube, there isn't one. That's missing, isn't it, from our...
Yeah, I think we did videos up to Lille. I think was the last one.
Wait, there's
Oh, no,
not a video of Bruges?
No, there was a video of Bruges. So that must have been Belgium. Must have been the last
Yeah,
one.
I think
Okay,
so.
Belgium must have been the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we managed to do the 3 big cities in the Netherlands. So that's Rotterdam, The Hague, and Amsterdam
Yeah.
in one day.
Speedy.
Because I don't know whether it's just easy because there's no hills or what, but it's because there were some people from my work were in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And it was a Thursday, and Thursday for them is they're going out night because they go home on the Friday. And we come to the country. And we got to Rotterdam. Now, the really cool thing about Rotterdam is, well, and The Hague, it works. As with most big cities, they have their own metro system.
Yep.
The metro system from Rotterdam will take you to The Hague. And you can buy a ticket at either of these cities. It's a bit... It sounds pricey at first. It's €13.50. But that gives you unlimited travel for, I think, 24 hours between both cities.
Yeah.
So you can go, like, on the metro, I think on buses as well, in and around Rotterdam, and then you get on another train, and that takes you to The Hague, and then you can get on any buses and trams around there, and then come back again, and then go home. And there's a free car park at one of the Rotterdam metro stations, well, at several of the Rotterdam metro stations.
Yep. But isn't Rotterdam one of the places that has... are there any congestion charge or LEZs?
Oh, yes,
LEZs?
in those 3 cities.
Yes.
And I think a few others, which is why we got the metro. We parked quite out of the city and got the metro in.
Yes. So with that, you're going to have to be careful as to which parking ride you choose.
Yes, good point. Yes, we completely forgot all about that. Yeah, it's tricky to do. You sort of have to. So I recommend. It's not brilliant, but that Green Zones app.
Yes.
Because that will show you on a map where the chargeable zones are. But then you sort of just have to look for points of interest and copy, and then look on a map of the metro system and try and figure out which metro station you can go to with a car park that's outside of the zone.
Yeah.
And just hope it's secure. It really is a bit of a ball ache. Maybe that's an app you can make.
Perhaps. Okay, so
Nope.
the park and ride that we used,
Yes.
just outside of Rotterdam, is the Capelsberg, spelled Capelsebbrug.
Excellent. There you
Capel.
go. Fantastic. And that had a really big car park. It was very full though.
Yes, that's one of the things I was going to say, is if you're going to use that car park, get there early like we did, because that
Yeah.
was one of our earliest starts.
Well,
in
we
inverted commas.
and we only just
Found
we
a
we,
space.
we were parked in. No, we went and parked where it looks like lorries or coaches normally
Yeah.
park. We weren't sure whether we were allowed there.
There was other
Um,
vans, and there was
there
a
were-
caravan, I think, there as well.
Yeah, there were a couple, but it was so devoid of. It was so much quieter compared to the other car park where
Exactly.
people were parked on curbs and things.
Yeah.
But there was always people about, and there were cafes on the car park as
Yeah.
well, so we felt safe enough leaving it there, leaving the van there. And then we got the train in, and it's all very easy, very simple.
Yeah.
And we got off. I can't remember whether it's the central station,
I think it is. Yeah.
but you had the big cube houses.
Yes. It's it's Rotterdam Blaak. Blaak is the main where we got off.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and they had the big cube houses, isn't it?
Yes, the really funky ones that are at an angle.
It's like a cube stood up on one of its points,
Yes.
and people live in them.
Yes.
And they look, that's the pump, not our bellies that we're in. Yeah, which, look, I'm really annoyed we lost the footage. I think you've still got some photos, hopefully.
I do, yes.
But lost the film of it, and they look, I just want to know what happens when you drop something.
I want to know
How
what it's
far does
like
it
on
go?
the inside. Like,
Yeah.
how do people live?
Yeah,
Is it not like...
do you have like really small rooms at the top and the bottom? Like, is the
how does all
the
of your
middle
stuff
floor?
not gravitate to that one corner?
Yeah, like, yeah, but then what is it opposite that? There's like the big indoor.
That's the big market.
There's like a big indoor street food place, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Which is the thing is, like, I'm a big fan of street food.
Mhm.
I think it's a great way to experience God, I'm going to sound really pretentious now. It's a really good way to experience the local cuisine,
Mhm.
but it is. But then they build a building for them, and put them all in there, and then suddenly the prices all go up, and now it's people selling from carts on the street, and now they have little cafes and restaurants type setups,
Mm.
and then it's quite expensive, and so this is kind of. I think expensive street food is kind of counter to the whole point of street food.
Okay.
Taking a stand here, making a point,
Apparently so.
politicising it. But it's very good in there. Like any kind of food you want was in there, wasn't it?
Yes.
And there were just some shops just selling
Mhm.
chocolates and nuts and whatever else.
Yeah.
Although we didn't buy any. And then because it was quite a flying, because we sort of ended up doing 3 cities in a day. It was quite a flying visit to Rotterdam, wasn't it?
It was. We were on a bit of a time.
But again, we didn't want to be spending any money on museums
No.
or anything like that. So we were just sort of looking at a few points of interest. So we went to the church, the cathedral. Sorry,
Yes.
we found the cathedral. Then we found a building called the World Trade Center.
We did. That was our first World Trade Center.
Yes, turns out there's World Trade Centers all over the place.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna make a joke about that. And we just found like the general sort of shopping district, didn't we?
Yes.
Of the underpasses with all the shops,
Yep.
all the trendy high-end retailers and such.
Hmm.
It's also where we found, 'cause last week we talked about Belgium was the first place where we really saw these scooters that you rent through an app.
Yes.
You may recall that in Rotterdam was where we found it's the same service,
Mhm.
but it's with a tiny little 2-seater car.
It is. Yes.
Little two-seater electric
I
car?
was just thinking of that.
I've not seen that anywhere else. Thinking about it,
No.
not that I know of.
No.
Yeah, but we didn't have a go because we were within walking distance of the train station, and that's where we were heading anyway. So yeah, but then say we bought these tickets, which got us from Park and Ride to the centre,
Yep.
and those same tickets we got back on, on a different line, got to the same train station, got on a different line, and it took us to The Hague,
Yep.
which I thought was the capital of the Netherlands. Turns out I thought it was like, because a lot of people think Sydney is the capital of Australia, and whatever. I thought it was that everybody thinks it's Amsterdam, but it's not. It's The Hague. Turns out it was The Hague at one point, I think.
The Hague is the political capital of the Netherlands.
Yes.
But Amsterdam is the socio-economic capital
Yes.
of the Netherlands.
And of course, The Hague is very important in the EU, isn't it?
Yes.
When I first heard of the place, I thought, because I'm not aware of anywhere else, another city called The something.
True.
And The Hague just sounds like a prison or something, or some sort of compound or complex you go to for to be held on trial for war crimes or something. Which I think people did go. That stuff does happen there.
Probably, yeah.
But that's not what The Hague is. The Hague is, you can go and do that, but you can also look at fountains or get some crepes.
Yes.
Or whatever else. Yeah, so we just had a nice walk around. Although that's when the weather sort of started to turn, didn't it?
It did a little bit, yes.
And we ended up, I don't know if you remember, we ended up accidentally following round a guided tour. We came off the train station and sort of just went wandering in a direction towards stuff. I think The Hague, there seems to be a lot more in The Hague than at Rotterdam.
Yes.
Because we found out the huge shopping centres, giant ones, and there was the newer shopping centres than the older streets.
Yeah.
And we found there was a market on with a statue in the middle, and there was a guy there just starting his guided tour, and he was saying, "Oh, it's free, but we asked for tips, things like that. Please leave us a review on TripAdvisor." And then when we got to the more bureaucratic side of the city, he was there again.
I think so. Maybe.
You just have to trust me.
Yeah, I trust you.
Because that was also where there was a school trip. Remember all those kids
Oh yes,
just
I remember
appeared?
the school trip.
Yeah, suddenly all these kids appeared taking selfies and not scissoring, there's something else, flossing.
Jesus Christ, that took a turn.
Kids these days.
Wow.
Yeah, it looked like again. It was. There didn't seem to be too much to do in Rotterdam. Really.
I preferred The Hague to Rotterdam.
Yeah.
Personally.
I think I would have liked to spend more time and money in Rotterdam. There seems to be much more museums. And older buildings to go in to see. There seem to be more things to do.
In Rotterdam?
No, The Hague. Sorry,
Okay.
did I say Rotterdam? I meant The Hague. Yeah, there seems to be more going on, more touristy stuff to see in The Hague than there was in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
But we didn't because
No.
we're cheap, and we knew we were going out in Amsterdam that evening.
Yeah.
Which is a whole thing unto itself. So then we did The Hague. Oh, we had Dargo with us as well during all this, didn't we?
We did have Dargo
with us.
with us.
Because I think we knew we were going to be leaving her in the van on our own. I think for the first time when we went to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
At night, sort of darker time anyway. So we took her out with us. She's very well behaved. I think that she was really getting used to her bag at this point, I think. But when she gets in the bag, she knows, okay, I'm just sitting here quietly.
Yeah.
We always take treats out with her to give a little. It is cute. You sit at a train station, wait for the train, and you open the top just to let her poke her head out, and she's like a little meerkat.
Hello?
Just pokes her head up, looks around. I just wonder if people just catch a glimpse. What's that? Just as she puts her head down. There's a cat in that bag? Or am I going mental? So yeah, then we got back on the train, back to Rotterdam, and then back to where the van was.
Yes.
And then we shot off to Amsterdam to try and meet my work colleagues before they got too intoxicated to realise
Is
what's
this
going on.
incriminating?
There will be no incriminating. You know, what happens in Amsterdam stays in Amsterdam.
Yeah, but you're not incriminating right now.
No.
True, you haven't said what colleagues.
I haven't said what
or where
colleagues.
you worked.
Or where I worked.
We're okay.
Or their names. Unless they send me money via PayPal. No, because I think from Rotterdam, well, at the outside of Rotterdam to Amsterdam, maybe took us about, because there was a lot of traffic.
Mm.
I think it maybe took us about 2 hours.
Yeah.
But we found a park and ride outside of, again, there is a low emission zone in Amsterdam.
Mhm. I'm just going to get you the name.
Sure. Of the car park?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Again, we just Googled for Amsterdam park and rides, and they have an excellent park and ride system in Amsterdam. I wish more cities incorporated it. You park up, it's a barrier-controlled, secure car park. So we felt safe leaving the van there for a while. And I think it costs like €8 or something to park for the day.
I think so.
It's
yes.
fairly cheap anyway, but if you then you get a ticket for that, and then if you use the public transport system, so you get a tram into the city, that price then drops to €1.
Yes.
So you're only paying €1 to park for the day if you use the tram.
Yep.
Which means it's cheaper, and it costs us like €3 each for like a return ticket or something.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's cheaper to get the tram than it is to walk. And that was, but that again, we couldn't park there overnight. You couldn't camp there.
Yeah, word of caution: do not camp there. There are big signs outside, at the entrance just before the barriers, telling you that you cannot camp there. People have still done it and then got fined.
Yeah, we found the spot on Park for Night.
Yes.
And it has very low reviews because of people stopping the night, and then they've been woken up by police knocking on the windows and telling them to get out. Excuse me, and then they have to pay a fine. It's made very clear that
it really is.
Yeah, it's made very clear you cannot
can't
stop
miss
there
it.
overnight.
This is P&R Zeeburg 2
There you go. So park and
that
ride.
we are talking about.
Zeeburg 2.
Zeeburg 2.
In Amsterdam, that was my 4th time in Amsterdam. Yeah, look at me. But it was your first time.
It was my first time in Amsterdam.
And that was the first time we'd been in a city on this trip at night. Just me.
Yes.
And it was on a Thursday night, so it was before all the yobbos came over singing drunkenly in the streets. So we went and met with my mates for a bit, and then they wanted to go off and do other stuff, expensive stuff. Not incriminating, but we were kind of like, okay, we don't really want to be spending all that money. I think one of them was going to pay for us, but it would have ended up costing him like over €30.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't want to.
He doesn't know I can drink.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're a cheap date.
I'm a cheap date.
Yes. One beer and you're on the floor.
I've had 2 today, although I am now lying down.
Exactly.
Because we don't have chairs in here.
But no, I didn't want to do that.
No. But we went and got
Plus, I was
walk.
driving.
Oh, that's true.
So
Yeah. We went and got walk to walk.
Oh yes, we did.
Yeah, which I kind of always wanted to go to. There was always queues, and there was a bit of a queue this time. But that's only because that's the thing with Amsterdam. So the first time I went there was 4 of us. The second time I went there was 10 of us. Time before last there was 3 of us. This time there was 2 of us.
Yep.
3
Soon
or 2.
It'll just be you by yourself.
I know. We're following the pattern. Surely next time it'll be like 15 people. But Amsterdam is not ideal for large groups.
No.
But that walk to walk, it was maybe about 5 p.m. on a Thursday. And the queue was out the door, but that's not because it's a big queue, it's because it's a small shop. And that's the same for all the coffee shops and for most places, all the cafes and restaurants and things. They're all very small.
Yeah, that's why there's a lot of them. Is because they're so small.
Sorry, my tea got cold. I have to finish it off.
That's okay. I finished my tea before you today.
Oh, there you go.
Madness.
But no, it's still very much enjoyed Amsterdam, and because it was lit up and a little bit quieter, so you get that sort of different atmosphere when it's at night.
Yes.
So we went for a bit of a wander around by ourselves. We went to the red light district.
Of course, I'd never been.
Yeah.
I was excited.
Which gets
Kid in a candy store.
This is interpret this how you will. That's got less interesting, shall we say, every time I've been. I think they're really. I think they're trying to phase it out.
Maybe.
It's an odd thing. It's got smaller. There was certainly a lot less windows. I'm just gonna say windows.
Hotties.
Open. There's a lot less windows open. That time I went than there has been even the last time I went, and even
But
then
it
that
was
was
a
a bit reduced.
Thursday.
It was, but you see how busy it was. You still have to shuffle up and down the street because there's so many people in front of you. Like it's like trying to walk through a festival sometimes. So then we left and went and parked up. Was that when we parked up by the river?
I think so.
Yeah, and then we came back the next day.
Yeah.
To explore a bit more during the daytime. Wanted to go to my favourite coffee shop,
Yeah.
Cafe 420. It's very nice.
Represent.
Bro. Not they don't sponsor us. I just think that they just nailed it for me. Just everything. Although they used to have cats that used to roam around, and now they don't. But it was pouring rain,
It was.
so everywhere was in places that they get full up quick enough anyway.
Yeah.
And this time they were, when it rains, you've got very little chance of getting in anywhere. Which can't. It was a shame. I'm glad we got to go. I'm glad we went there the night before when it was dry,
Yeah.
and we could explore the place. Amsterdam again. There's loads to do. Amsterdam is if you're going for weird stuff to do, there are some museums. Obviously, famously there's Anne Frank's museum, which I've been there 4 times. Technically 5 because we left and came back. I've been there 4 times and I've never done any museums in Amsterdam.
Well, Anne Frank's house, you have to book like a year in advance
Yes.
or something stupid
Yes.
like that, don't you? So
Yeah, we looked it up, and to get in, you can't just
rock up.
to Anne Frank's house and have a look around. You have to book. It's very far in advance.
Yeah.
You've really got to know you want to go and when you're going. I've heard from other people, don't do drugs and go to Anne Frank's house.
Well,
It ruins your day.
no. I was trying to do that without swearing.
Yes, I haven't ticked the swearing box.
Exactly. I'm trying really hard.
Yeah. But I know there's the sex museum, there's the body museum. Oh no, I did go to the London Dungeons. London Dungeons? The Amsterdam.
I hope not.
That was a long
That's
bus
a
ride.
tunnel.
That's a long bus ride. No, I went to the Amsterdam Dungeons, which were very good. I went when I went with Gaz and Mike for Gaz's birthday. But that's the closest thing I've done to a museum. And
I
that
don't
was
think that's a
cool.
museum.
Well, they do some history. They tell you about someone who used to go around killing prostitutes, and then they
In
jump up
Amsterdam?
behind you in Amsterdam. Yeah,
Amsterdam had its own Jack the Ripper?
prostitutes have been killed throughout history.
Well, yes, but
No,
I did not know that.
yeah, well, because it was a dock. It was a port city, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it still is. So
Maybe it was
they get
Jack.
sailors coming to me. Oh my god, we've unlocked it.
Oh my god.
And then so they go through. It's weird with those dungeons. They go through like this is the history of the town, and then
Some random bloke jumps out at you.
well, no, then here's a mirror maze. It's like well, what? What's this got to do with it? Also went to the ice bar. They have an ice bar there, which is I would have liked to have gone again, but it's like €25 each, and you get 2 drinks out of it, and one of them's not even in the ice bar. And it's just a really cold drink when you drink out of a glass made of ice. So you think you're getting a pint, and it's a pint-sized glass, but because it's made of ice, it's several centimeters thick. So you're lucky if you get half a pint in there.
Yes.
It's a bit of a novelty. Well, I've never done any of the museums. Obviously, you've got all the cultural, the non-drug or sex-related stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, there is loads to do there. I've just never done any of it. But I think Amsterdam's just nice to walk around in.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't... Amsterdam has a good vibe to it
Yes.
if you're there to party.
Yeah.
If you're there for a cultural weekend, not so much.
But there is that side to it, and we were only really in the very centre.
But that's what I
we didn't
mean.
go too far out.
So, like, I understand that is the culture of Amsterdam, However, especially if you're there for the weekend, like the droves of people that were coming in when we were leaving.
Yes. Yeah,
it
we
was
were. Yeah.
a flood.
Yeah, because we were. Excuse me. Because obviously we went on the night. It was Thursday.
Yeah.
And then we came back again on the Friday. We were leaving sort of
Afternoon.
mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's obviously when all the tourists are coming in for the weekend.
Exactly.
And it was because they're doing road work again. It's Europe in the winter. They're doing road works, and they just have guys with whistles controlling.
I remember them.
The guys with whistles just controlling traffic and pedestrians.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was horrible to get out.
But that's what I mean. Like, if I wasn't, because we weren't there with our friends to have a crazy weekend.
No.
We were just there to see what Amsterdam has to offer.
Yeah, a quick glimpse.
Exactly. So it wasn't quite the same.
Yeah.
Tips and tricks time.
Oh.
Because I like doing that and I randomly think of these things.
Sure.
On that main road in Amsterdam.
Yes.
Yes?
So that's the one straight, if you come out of the train station, it's like straight ahead of you.
Yes.
That goes to the big square with by the Madame Tussauds.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that one.
And the City Hall, that's probably more important.
Yes.
Sorry.
See what I mean? Yes, that road. On that road, as you're going from the train station to that main square.
Yeah.
Yeah. On your right-hand side,
I know where you're going with this.
There is a vegan fast food place.
Yes.
Establishment, and they do the best frites that we have ever had.
Yes.
There is a non-vegan place right next to it, which also does frites, but they always have a massive queue.
Yeah.
So just going to the vegan place, it's exactly the same because they're potatoes.
Vegan potatoes are the same as meat potatoes.
But they genuinely were the best frites that we had.
They were excellent.
Excellent. And cheaper.
And cheaper. Yeah, because that one place is almost literally next door to it, wasn't it?
It is next door to it, next door to it.
The queue was almost back to the road. Yeah. And anyone who's been there will know that it's a wide pavement.
Yeah.
And they were backing up nearly to the road, so we tried this vegan place, and he seemed a little bit grumpy in there.
They were okay.
Maybe he's got like vitamin deficiencies or something. But yeah, they're excellent chips. We also ate a lot of cheese that day.
So much cheese. I was going to say that.
We go to the if you want a cheap eat in Amsterdam.
Cheap eat tricks.
Go to all the cheese shops because they have little
samples. Little cubes of cheese.
Oh god, I remember the cheese. We bought quite a bit of cheese there, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Didn't go to any museums, but we bought cheese.
We bought cheese.
And that was so good cheese. Some smoked stuff, God. And they have all sorts of.
They do. Some of it's so good.
Yeah, could have spent so much money on cheese.
But yeah, so have lots of cheese. Have frites. Yes. Yeah, what else was there? Oh, that is when I saw somebody who's equally as insane as I am and wears a tennis ball coloured hoodie.
Yeah.
Yes. Walked straight past me and I was like, oh my god! You're just as mental as I am.
I'm trying to think the places we stopped, because obviously we came in from Belgium. And it doesn't help, it's a wide border. Because the first night we stopped near Gouda, wasn't it?
Yep.
And that was like a main road, and then you're completely off any main roads, and you're between houses and like a river, but it's all like marshland or something.
Yeah.
So all the houses have little moats.
Yeah.
Just outside, because they're not in Gouda, but outside Gouda. We stopped there.
That road is very narrow.
Yeah.
However.
And then between visits to Amsterdam, we stopped out. We just drove right past a load of the windmills, didn't we? The wind generators.
Yes.
Not proper windmills.
Yeah. Modern.
Yeah.
Windmills.
And there's a bit of the river, and then we went out. Oh God, completely forgot about Zaanstad.
I was waiting for you to get around.
That was Netherlands. There we go.
You've had probably about an hour or so of just explaining your previous Amsterdam trips.
Have we been talking that long?
I'd imagine.
No,
so.
not that long. Zaanstad.
Yes,
Take it away.
Zaanstad. So we'd been in the Netherlands for 2 days.
Yes.
And I hadn't seen a windmill.
Mm.
And I was
Proper
very
windmill.
disappointed. Yes, proper Dutch
Yes.
windmill. And I was kind of sad about it. So I did a quick Google, and turns out that literally probably 15-20 minutes from where we were,
Yeah.
there's a town called Zaanstad,
Yes.
which has, I think, something like 9 or 10 windmills just along a river.
Yeah.
And it's got a absolutely amazing little living museum-esque
Yes.
part to it as well.
Which is free.
Which is free, and
Yeah.
you can go for a walk around that. There's a little shop, there's a cafe, and just lots of tourists
Mm.
kind of pottering around. There's also a Zaanstad museum at the back of that.
Yes.
Um,
And there are nature walks.
there are nature walks. There's next to the museum. There's a little observation post which you climb all the way up to the top, and you can
Yeah.
see all over.
Yeah, they had boards up there. I mean, it was a bit of a grey. It was starting to rain that day.
Yeah,
But there are boards up there, so you can see. It tells you what wildlife you should be able to see from there.
yes.
All the different birds and things.
The windmills, most of them are functioning.
Yeah, there's either a shop in there or people living in them.
Yes,
Isn't there? Yeah.
yes.
Some of them you can go up,
You can.
but you have to pay for.
Yes, because it's that's how those.
Yeah,
guys
that's
earn
how
their
they
living.
keep
That's
it
how
going.
it is.
Yeah.
There's also a big main barn shop where they had the chickens and ducks, I think.
Oh yes.
We walked around that way. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
there's
yeah.
the Diddy bridges.
Yeah.
You know me and my love of Diddy things.
Because it's like, so just to sort of describe this, give some sort of a visual map, if you
Mhm.
will. So there's obviously the river, where there's I think 2 windmills, one either side of it, on
Yes.
the river, and then on that river you can see the river sort of really widely curves out,
Yeah.
and you can see they're just in a row along this river.
Mm.
There's like 7 or 8 of them, like
Yeah.
that. I think one of them didn't even have any
No.
propellers, sails.
Sails. I think they're
I
sails.
don't know what they're called. But some of them are operational.
Yes.
And then you walk down and you come into like a small village. So there's like a bank made up to look like still in the old buildings, and like
Yeah.
a little shop which is again in an old building. And then there are off to the one side where all those animals were towards the purpose-built museum.
Yep.
Or a couple more little houses with diddy little gates
Yep.
and diddy little bridges and diddy little people. Maybe we don't know. We didn't see
We
them.
don't know.
Um,
Everything was very Diddy.
so it's one of these, like, these people actually live here,
Yeah.
and they obviously accept that this, people will come and take photos
Yeah.
and just show respect. Don't go opening gates and knocking
Exactly.
on doors or anything.
Hello.
But then there's a footpath which just takes you up and around to all the windmills,
Yeah.
and then you can carry on that walk and sort of come back round through the marsh sort of
Yeah.
land, which I'm sure will be very nice in the summer. But
Mm.
mid-October on a drizzly day just didn't really appeal.
No.
But, yeah.
Yeah. So, logistic issues. For that, if you go over the river, down across a crossroads, and to the left there is a free car park there, which there will be motorhomes and campervans in.
Yes,
because
that
there
had
were-
some dedicated
yeah,
motorhome parking. Yeah.
and quite a fair bit of it, actually.
Yeah.
And that's just a short walk into the town past. Do you remember the bakery?
Oh,
Oh my
good
God.
lord, yes.
We were just like, no, don't do this to me now.
Why can't we be rich? No, because just a word of warning on Park for Night, there is a car park on there, which is, I think it's actually the car park for
The museum,
for
yeah.
Zaanstad. At the time, I suppose it would have been a weekend, it would have been a Saturday, wouldn't it?
Mm.
That was closed. I had a guy on there. I think it had a motorhome sign
Yes.
with a cross through it. It's like, no,
Yeah.
you can't park here. Go
Yeah.
away. Because it's for the coaches and that are turning up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we found more than viable park. That's all because we were actually going there.
Yeah.
That's what we had, and then we just carried on down the road and found this one
This other one.
on the same road. So
Yeah.
there is adequate parking. I'd say it's like a 10, at most 10-minute walk.
Yeah, and it's a pleasant walk, so it's
Yeah.
fine.
And then from there, I think that was it.
I think so.
Off to, what was the next country?
Germany.
Germany. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, because that's when we must have. Yeah, because then we went and got fuel. Then we did a load of washing. That's where we first used petrol station laundromats.
Okay.
Don't know if you remember that.
Nope.
We pulled it to the petrol station. We filled up on petrol. There are some petrol stations which have
Oh yes, I remember now.
yeah,
Yes.
like motorhome service facilities, I suppose.
Yes.
So they had a drain cover in the floor next to a water point, so you could drain black and grey water, and then you could. They had, I think they did have LPG there, but we didn't need it. Put them on diesel, and then they had, which I heard they tried to put these in the UK, and everybody said no, we don't want that. We don't want people doing their washing at petrol stations, but they're incredibly convenient.
Yeah.
And so there's just a load of tumble dryers and washing machines that you just put in, and you sit and wait for an hour, and then you tumble dry it, and all your stuff's dry.
Yeah.
And then we went from there off to Germany.
We did.
Oh, that was when. That's right. I remember where we stopped. We stopped outside that leisure centre, and we tried to go in there for a shower,
Okay.
and they were charging us to it. Okay, you don't remember, so I'll tell the story. Obviously, we have a shower in the van, but it's very confined. It takes a long time. Like there's not enough water to have a proper quote shower. So we resort to mainly having like flannel baths and things. But we were parked near a leisure centre.
Okay.
You can't remember. But we went to Zahnstad because it wasn't far from there, and then we came back to this leisure centre, and I went in to inquire because the general rule is a lot, not general rule, but a lot of gyms, like in Belgium, gyms, leisure centres will usually let you use a shower for a couple of euros. But this place, the woman was just like, no, you'd have to book a class, and the cheapest ones are 18 euros each.
Oh wow.
It's like, okay, no, we're not doing that.
thanks.
So, no thank you, we'll just smell. Or just have a flannel bath or whatever. So then we went to go and get fuel, and then that's when we went to Germany.
Yeah.
Which, that run, I mean, we went into Germany probably a couple of hours away from Hamburg. But that run maybe took about 4 or 5 hours. And that is one of my regretful parts of the trip, purely because we did it at night. And you go over, and I saw a picture of it I think today on YouTube. I haven't watched the video yet. When you go that way, there's in the Netherlands there is a motorway which they've built across the sea.
Yeah.
So it's at sea. Well, it's not at sea level. Obviously, it'd be rather wet. But it's not a bridge. You've got all those sort of islands sort of arc out as if they're all one, and there's a motorway which goes across there. Which just looks like a motorway at night. We just did it was pitch black, so it was just like driving down a motorway, which was a shame. But we wanted to get going. We had schedules to keep,
Yeah.
so we had to be off. So we'd just go back again on the bikes one day.
Yes.
But no, and again, toll free, so you get to drive over the sea. That was probably the last time you get to drive over anything like that in Europe and not pay for it. Because most of the bridges are toll.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think that's the Netherlands.
I think so.
Can be done in a day.
Can.
Well, except Zahnstad. That's another day.
Just another anecdote.
Yes.
Do you remember when we first entered the Netherlands, we stopped at a motorway service station to fill up?
Okay.
And there's a LPG pump next to us. And the guy didn't take the nozzle out and drove off.
Oh, was that in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't LPG. That was petrol. Well, that was just fuel.
Okay.
Because I was filling up. But yeah, I do remember that, yeah. That's the only time I've seen that in my life.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, I got out to pay, and that was, yeah. You just pay at the pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't LPG. God, LPG, that could have. I mean, petrol's bad enough, but. Because LPG is always usually separate from everything, isn't it? Yeah, like I don't get how you do that. And I've seen videos of it happen all the time. Then it happened at the pump, with the other side of the pump that I was using.
Yeah.
He drove off with his thing still in. I thought, well, how do you do that? Like, does he?
You don't know. Maybe he was extremely tired, which he shouldn't have been driving anyway. But you don't know the circumstances, do you?
Well, I don't know. I think you can drive if you're not sure about your eyesight these days.
Apparently so.
Yeah. A little bit of
Topical humour.
Topical British referencing there.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I think that's it.
Yes. I think so. I think it's important that we say thank you for listening.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I thought you might have something
No,
else to say. Do you mind if I just
wrap up.
You want to wrap up, do you? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much for listening. We've been looking at the analytics because we've still been in lockdown until today.
We have nothing better to
We are
do.
going to start driving around again now. We have nothing better to do. We're checking the analytics. I think it's safe to say we're both quite surprised at how many people are listening.
Yeah, definitely.
And immensely grateful. I say we really didn't think anyone would listen to this. This is just a way for us to kill time.
Yeah.
Hopefully you are all finding it interesting and not just taking the piss out of the way we spake.
I'm okay.
Oh, you're okay.
I'm perfectly fine. Thank you very much. You're the one who sounds funny.
Yes. So if you're listening to us on, well, we're available on any app of choice, other than there's one which I think it's called Pandora. We're not on there because they're not accepting any submissions from the European Economic Area,
I see.
which we're currently in. But any other one, Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher seems popular for some reason. iHeartRadio, that's the one the Scrubs one's on. Like, we're on all that. You can watch us on there. If for some reason you don't want that, for some reason you want to look at a low-res photo while you listen to us talk, because we have limited upload and speeds here, you can watch us on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. Again, we still don't have enough subscribers on YouTube for our own URL, so just search for Catavan or Catavan UK on YouTube. You will find us. On Facebook, it's
Catavan UK, and on Instagram it's also at Catavan UK.
If you have any questions, things we missed, things you think we should cover, anything, if you want to if you want to get in touch with us,
Yes.
either hit us up on the social medias or on YouTube, so the YouTubes or Facebook or Instagram, or I suppose, are you okay with this, drop us an email?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
should be fine.
catavanuk@gmail.com. The new episodes go up every Wednesday of the podcast. We try and do a diary video to go out every Sunday. That will be difficult though, because the next video is the last one we've got. Is the last one that we filmed before the lockdown.
We'll have to get some adventuring in.
Yes, I've built up a nice backlog, and now we've drained it.
Yes.
So the plan is to be a new diary video every Sunday, podcast every Wednesday. Because see no reason why the podcast won't still be every Wednesday.
Yes.
If there's not a video one week, it will be coming. It's purely because we haven't got enough footage to put together yet.
We'll fix it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. So thank you very much for listening. Please leave a review if you can.
Yeah.
So,
And feel free to get in touch if you just want to tell us how crap we are.
yes,
Or
any
how we can make it better.
any criticisms or well, I'll tell you what. Here's one. If you want to maybe get involved and be a guest.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, we could do that. We have the internet.
We could do that.
We could work that out. So we're doing this on a country by country basis. Next week will be Germany. So I suppose we could just list off some countries. If you've been anywhere in Europe, really, other than Eastern Europe, we haven't really done much of Eastern Europe yet.
No.
I mean, we did the Baltics and Poland.
Yep.
We haven't we haven't done any of the Balkans yet.
No.
But anywhere else if you've been travelling, more specifically in a campervan or motorhome.
Here's a question.
Oh, go
Do
on.
we have any listeners in Russia?
I don't know about Russia specifically, but we do have. No, there's none in Asia actually. So maybe European Russia.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe one day. I really want to speak to a German. No, sorry.
Russian.
Wrong thing.
Yes.
A Russian person on here. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why. I want to swap stories.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the point. So if anyone's been more specifically in a campervan or motorhome,
Yeah.
in any of any European or Russia or Morocco. Yeah, please, and you fancy like joining the conversation, for something to do. Maybe you've been furloughed and you're bored. Who knows? Yeah, to get in touch. We'll try and sort something out through the wizardry of the internet. That's a lot of admin, a lot of clumsy admin at the end of the. We should start writing scripts, maybe.
Or you can just stop waffling.
Okay, thanks. We'll leave it at that then. We didn't even say who we were at the start of this.
I think they know by now. Come
Hopefully.
on.
Unless I've just dipped into this episode. Who are these idiots? If you did think that, then fair play for sticking out this far. I think we'll wrap it up now before we just devolve into a conversation or just arguments or whatever.
Oh dear. Okay.
So yes, thank you very much for listening.
We'll see you in Germany.
Yes. Well, yes. Next
Yes.
week, Germany. So make sure you come back for that.
Try to.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Bye.